There's a certain kind of home that doesn't try too hard. It's not covered in detail, it doesn't need to impress you, and yet somehow it still does. On today's episode of Homes Explained, we're looking at the Shingle Style, its history, its defining exterior as well as interior features, and why these homes always feel like the summer that never ends. So what is it about these Shingle Style homes that creates that feeling? Because it's not just the shingles, it's the way it's designed as a whole. And it starts with a very deliberate shift away from how the homes were being built at the time. The Shingle Style began to emerge in the late 1870s and really took hold in the 1880s all the way through to the early 1900s, particularly in places like Newport, Rhode Island, and along the northeast coast. Many of these homes were built as summer retreats for wealthy families, especially places like Newport, which at the time was becoming a seasonal escape for the New York and Boston elites. But what's interesting is that even though these clients were extremely wealthy, the houses didn't feel showy. They were informal, almost deliberately understated. And that's because architects at the time began moving away from the heavy ornamentation of the Victorian era, which was all the rage, and instead of adding things, started taking them away. They also began borrowing ideas from early American colonial homes and informal seaside cottages, focusing more on shape, proportion and flow rather than the Victorian era decoration. And in doing that, they created homes that felt more relaxed, more comfortable, more connected to their surroundings, and generally far more livable. And you can see that shift very clearly in the way these homes are designed. When you look at a Shingle Style home, there are a few defining features that show up, starting with the most important, the shingle skin itself. These homes are wrapped almost entirely in wooden shingles, and those shingles don't stop at the walls. They continue up over the roof, around corners and across curves. So instead of reading the house as separate parts as you normally would, you read it as one continuous form with very little visual break between the walls and the roof, which softens the structure entirely. And that's a real departure from earlier styles, where materials and trim were used to divide the house into sections, walls, roofs, corners, all deliberately outlined. But here, those lines are deliberately blurred. It's less about highlighting each element and more about letting the overall shape of the house take over. Typically, you're looking at cedar shingles throughout, often left to weather naturally over time, which gives it that soft, muted tone and helps it sit comfortably in the landscape. But it's also worth saying, just because a house is covered in shingles, that doesn't automatically make it a Shingle Style home. You can apply shingles to almost any house, but that continuous skin only really works the way it's intended when it's paired with the right massing and roof lines. So that means the asymmetry, the way the form flows, the lack of rigid structure, all that has to be there as well. The material is the surface, but the style comes from the overall form. Next up, the roof lines are certainly a defining exterior feature of the Shingle Style home, and it's where a lot of the character comes from. You'll see sweeping gables, layered forms, and very commonly gambrel roofs, which give the upper level more usable space, while also softening the overall profile of the house. And while gambrel roofs are most commonly associated with Dutch colonial homes, the way they're used here is quite different. In Dutch colonial homes, as you can see here looking at this picture, the gambrel is usually more regular and symmetrical, very clearly defining the structure of the house. In Shingle Style, often it's just one part of a much more complicated composition combined with other roof forms and used to create movement rather than reinforce order. The asymmetry is intentional, but it's also controlled, so the house still feels very balanced. And then there are these incredible porches. These are typically wide, often wrapping around the house, and they're designed to be used, not just seen. In earlier house styles, outdoor space was more defined and separate, but here the porch becomes an extension of the living space. It softens the edge between inside and outside, and that transition is a big part of what makes these homes feel so relaxed. It's less of a boundary and more of a continuation of the home itself. And for the final defining exterior feature, windows are typically grouped rather than isolated, often set into the shingle surface without heavy trim drawing attention to them. In more traditional styles, windows are framed and emphasised as individual elements, but once again here, it's integrated into the overall form. The focus isn't on each window, it's on the light it brings in and how they connect the interior to the landscape outside. So while the materials are simple, the overall composition of the shingle style is layered and complex. The forms shift, the roof lines move, and the house feels like it's been shaped over time rather than designed as a rigid front facade. Nothing is overly defined, and that lack of formality is what gives these homes their sense of ease. And that doesn't stop at the outside, it continues on the inside. At a time when many homes had formal layouts and the rooms were divided into formal, separate spaces, each with a very specific purpose, shingle style interiors were more open and connected. Spaces flowed into each other rather than being strictly defined, and circulation felt much more natural rather than forced. And it was less about moving from one room to another and more about how the spaces related to each other, which was actually very forward thinking for the Victorian era in which these homes started being built. Another defining feature is all the built-in elements, such as window seats, benches, shelves, integrated into the architecture. Now, these weren't designed to be decorative elements, they're practical and they encourage a more informal way of living. So instead of everything being arranged and neatly placed, the house itself provides places to sit, gather and use. And that shift away from highly staged formal interiors is important. These homes were designed to be used, not just admired. The materials inside tend to be just as restrained as the exterior, wood, stone and other natural finishes used in a way that feels consistent and very grounded. Combined with large, often grouped windows, the focus shifts away from individual features towards light, views and atmosphere. And when you put all of that together, you start to understand why this shingle style home feels the way it does. The feelings that we associate with these homes isn't just about where they're located. It's not just about the coast or the materials or even the time of year. It's the way everything works together. The simplicity of the shingle surface, the softness of the forms, the way the house connects to the landscape, and the lack of rigid structure create a sense of ease. And over time, that combination has become closely associated with New England summer living. Places like Cape Cod, Nantucket and the Hamptons, so there's an immediate recognition when you see it. There's nothing overly formal, nothing that forces you to move through the house in a particular way, and that's what gives these homes their quality. It feels relaxed, unstructured, and slightly removed from everything else. The kind of place where time slows down a little. Or maybe it's just because you're on vacation. Either way, that's what makes these homes feel like summer doesn't quite end. And it's also why the shingle style has lasted, because it's not tied to a specific moment or a trend. It's built on ideas that still work today. You can see it in modern coastal homes, in high-end builds, and even in smaller contemporary homes that borrow the same sense of flow and simplicity. Because while the materials may change and the detailing may become more refined, the core idea remains the same. Create a home that feels relaxed, connected, and easy to live in. And that's something people are still trying to achieve. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to join me next week for more Homes Explained.